Hi, hello, my name is Ollie Bliss and this is my channel Book Drawer. For those who don't know, I enjoy looking at queer fiction and occasionally I make images out of looking at those particular books and responding to them in creative ways. Today I'm doing a tag though, and this was originally created by Harriet Rosie, and it is the Booktube Watching Tag. I just want to say thanks for the tag to Alex from What Page Are You On, from Lindsay from The Wandering Reader, and from Know Thy Shelf, which is led by Michelle. And a big shout out to Michelle because I really find her thumbnails as like intriguing little bits of artwork, really, where she kind of frames the discussions that she's talking about. But then she has this such calming but thoughtful presence when you're actually watching her video content. And I really hope other people are drawn to her in the way that I have been. So please do check her out too. I know this one has been doing the rounds at the moment with lots of different YouTubers taking the opportunity to talk a bit about how they approach watching other channels on YouTube, and it has really made me kind of reflect a little bit in terms of my own consumption habits. And particularly I want to shout out to two responses that have looked at this in interesting ways. One is Matthew from MCS Books, who has looked at it in terms of identity. And his video responses, I mean all of his video responses really, are just fascinating and interesting insights, and the way he unpacks discussion and looks at it in a very different way, and he's framed it in terms of looking at how it mirrors our own identities in terms of what we consume and how that kind of informs the type of content that we produce. And I know that that is kind of the original aim of Harriet Rosie's intent behind doing the tag, and he just illustrates it in a really interesting way. And the other person that I wanted to kind of talk about is Sophie from Portal and Pages, because she actually made me feel quite empowered. She is wise beyond her years, but because I think she's been doing this a little while longer than me, but she was able to kind of go through her priorities in terms of just talking about reading is her priority, and then it comes to generating the content and watching other videos. And she was just really honest about that, and I think it actually is quite empowering in the sense that it's okay not to be chasing around lots of other people and trying to keep up with what they're trying to generate. It's really helpful when other channels talk about you and promote you on your channel, and that's a really lovely sharing element about it. And you do just form these friendships which you just want to keep in contact with people, but then it is also hard to maintain all of those contacts, and because the number of people that I'm watching now has dramatically increased since joining Booktube. And 2 years ago I was not aware of what Booktube was. It just wasn't on my radar, though I was consuming through YouTube. But so it was really nice just for her to kind of be almost reassuring and just saying it's your space, you are in control of what you generate and how you kind of spend your time. And it's not in terms of being disingenuous to other people, it's just that we have a finite amount of time, and how we spend our time is limited. But what I loved what she said is that Booktube is hers, and she's in complete control of it, and I completely agree with that in terms of that sense of it is something that you create from scratch, and you are in control of how you reach out to other people, but also you have this other side where lots of people just pop out of nowhere and just want to have conversations about books with you, and you just don't get that in day-to-day world. Have it very fleetingly with a few people, whereas it's really nourishing to be amongst other people who just really, really like exploring books. So that's kind of a wider little rant on my side, but I just thought I'd share that, having watched several of these now, and just kind of why I'm contributing to this particular tag. So the first question is, how many channels are you subscribed to? So I recently did a cull on my channels, and I'm now down to 189 channels. Number 2 is, when do you normally watch Booktube? So I am really non-formulaic with my viewing. It really depends on my working pattern, and my working pattern is constantly in flux because sometimes I'm working evenings and weekends, and sometimes I have to get up really early, so I don't even have a chance in the morning, but I usually get about 10-15 minutes in the morning to myself where my partner is in the shower. He doesn't have much interest in booktube at all. He will let me watch the end of whatever I'm currently watching, but I will cast it onto our television and have my breakfast. It's usually some baked beans or some yogurt with some fruit, and I'm just chilling out with whoever as I'm having my breakfast, and it's lovely. If I'm at a train station and I've got free Wi-Fi, I am looking at some channels occasionally, or if I'm not doing some work. And then last thing at night is while I'm in bed winding down. That is the other time that I am watching channels. Sometimes, to be honest, by that stage, I'm just watching compilations of Vines. I love those. I can waste hours, literally hours.
The prophecy is true.
Number 3 is, how do you balance booktube watching, reading and making of your own videos? To be honest, I've not worked out the balance at all. I just have not got to grips with how to do that effectively. So number 4 is there a difference between videos that you like watching and videos you like making? And that is an absolute massive yes. So, because I mainly watch booktube channels where either it's around other people who are interested in queer fiction, because we have that common interest with each other, but also it's through the community where we've been talking to each other, and those friendships have been formed, and just want to kind of help support each other and talk to each other, and also because they really, really want to talk about books, and I really, really do enjoy doing that too. And as I've been growing, it's been lovely to see other channels grow as well. Like, I think Bookie Laura and Chris Vigilante were two of the earliest kind of other booktubers who came and started visiting my channel, and they were both smaller channels as well, and it's been amazing to watch them grow over the last year as well, and you feel like you're on a journey with them. And both of them are actually much more regular and better at generating content than me, but you do feel like you have that shared experience with them. At least I hope they think the same as me on that one as well. But then you also have other people like Span Maid, who she dips in and out of it whenever she chooses to, and she actually grounds me in that way, because she just reminds you to keep it fun, just keep generating the type of content that you want to create, and have fun with the space. Before BookTube, I was just a watcher. I started watching YouTube from crossover with Grace Helbig, who had a channel which was on my damn channel, and she did Daily Grace, and I loved her channel, and I didn't really re-engage with her until she had that short stint when she was actually on telly, and then I then checked her out on YouTube, and from that's how I got introduced to people like Mimri and Hannah and Tyler Oakley, and then that introduced me to other people like Todrick Hall and Miles J, and it just kind of kept on growing as I'm watching all these people connected to each other, and it's through all their collaborations that that they were my escape. I just loved having these sort of 3 to 4 minute little chill times. So number 5, who is the first booktuber you subscribe to, and do you still watch them? So I have mentioned this several times, but my entry point to the booktube community was Jem Campbell. And there's also George Lester, but his content has been really inconsistent recently, and that's much harder. And then Sam Savage. And so, yeah, I do still watch all of those people, but that kind of dips up and down. And I think that's kind of normal, and I don't mind it if people dip in and out of my content. I think you do just kind of at different times, for whatever reason, will gravitate towards certain people, certain themes, depending on what they're discussing, and sometimes it will resonate, and other times it won't, and somebody else will be chatting about something, and you want to hang out with them for a bit, and that's all cool, I think. The most recent booktuber you subscribe to. So I have subscribed to a bunch of new booktubers, and a lot of them aren't new, just in terms of all the kind of UK based ones, through rocking up to that Booktube meetup. And I'll add a link to my other video because I've linked all of their channels so that you can check them out. But that opened me up to like other content creators who are on the doorstep in terms of being on the tiny island of the UK. So it was actually quite nice to see a lot more other channels which I just wasn't aware of, and being able to connect with them, and weirdly connecting with them in the physical realm rather than the online realm first. So an old favourite booktuber for me would be, in terms of Chris Vigilante, Bookie Laura and Spammaid. As I said before, I feel like being on a journey with those three, and they're just all lovely human beings. The next one is share a new favourite booktuber, and what I want to like shout out to is two people. It's Tea Hags. I freaking love those two. They are so funny. They are so funny, and they have like a really interesting kind of worldview in terms of, I think I align a lot of my values system with theirs, where they're kind of like, they're into gender politics, but in a very light-hearted way. It's Rebecca and Sarah, and one of them really likes romance, and the other is a bit more kind of fantasy-based. But they have such a wonderful bond together, and they also enjoy a good drink. And they just make fun, stupid, cool videos. 9 is, what is your booktube pet peeve? And my pet peeve is, like, I don't want to sound like the type of booktuber that actually irritates me. It's just when you have a couple of characters who are consistently pessimistic about books or situations, and booktube drama, which I just don't subscribe to any of the booktube drama. I just kind of block that stuff out. I think it's just not necessary. And there are some personalities which are just incredibly draining. And I don't want to like name names because that's just mean, but some people who I have previously subscribed to, who I've then got away from, are the types of personalities where they just moan. The next one is, what have you learnt from other booktubers? And I think I have learnt heaps in the last couple of years. I mean, I've certainly been introduced to a lot of books, which has been great, but there's also different approaches in terms of how you present what you're talking about, and the types of little fun things that people do on their channels in different ways which suit them really well. The next thing to do is to choose some other people to do the tag. So I have recently made a list, and this is what I didn't actually chat about before, but I have made a list of all the people that I am following, and I'm writing dates against when I've last watched their content. And I think that's just going to help me keep an eye on all 198 channels that I'm watching, so I don't feel like I'm missing people off and connecting in with them. So I'm going to try and connect or choose some different people and hope that they will get on board and have a go. So I'm going to tag in Leanne Rose, Steve Partridge, Common Spence, Emma's Bookish Lifestyle, Leela from Hide and Seek, Nathan James, because where the hell are you? What have you been doing? I know you're doing a degree, but come on boy, like, get back into the community. And Amanda Jenner, where have you dropped off to? So I don't know what's going on with them, so yeah. Those are some people that I'm tagging. Anyway, I hope all of that was very interesting for people. I feel like I've probably gone on a little bit longer than probably necessary, but I hope that's cool with you. Come back and I will see you again soon. Okay, take care. Bye!